Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. In this video, I'll be adding an audio parameter for choosing an oversampling factor and we'll attach it to a menu. I'll also show you an updated best practice for defining and accessing audio parameters. Hope you're excited. Let's dive right in. So let's start with the oversampling menu. That's pretty easy. We're just going to use a combo box. I'll try to keep naming conventions consistent. So let's do M um, oversampling menu. And then we're probably going to have multiple combo boxes. So let's make a set combo box props method or something that will take in a combo box. We'll say box, and then it also it can let's take in a string array so that we can add items to it. So let's see juice string array items. Okay, gotta go implement that. Set combo box prop. There we go. And this is bothering me, so I'm gonna get rid of this now. Okay, so we need to add and make visible when we pass something to it. So we'll say the box. We can do box dot add item list, and that's the list that we are taking in with items. So items, and then just put one for the first offset. That's good. So now we have that. Okay. And let's see, while I'm here, I'm gonna make our window size nice and we're gonna make it nice and golden ratioed, 1000 by 600. We need to make a string array of our choices. So string array, and we'll say items. So we're gonna have off 2 times, oversampling 4 times, 8 times, and 16. Cool. So set combo box props. That's gonna be M sampling menu and items. Cool. So they are added. We just need to draw it. So we will go here. Something I've been doing lately is, let's see. Yeah, I'll make these consts for now, but we'll have to change it later. So const auto x is equal to, let's see here. Let's set up a padding amount. Let's say round to end so we don't get a warning. Let's see, get width times like 0.03 or something for like a padding so that we can say the x position of the box is going to be the width of it, the window width, so that's all the way to the right, minus the box width, which will put it the right side of the menu on the right side of the screen, and then add a little bit of padding. So we actually need our width first. So console width is equal to same thing, juice around to int. Maybe we'll make this 0.1 or something. Cool. And we might as well go ahead and make height right here too. So maybe we'll say, I don't know, get height times 0.5 or something. I don't know. Get width minus width minus padding. Then Y position, I guess we'll just make it padding. Cool, cool. Let's see. Now let's actually put it there. Set bounds. All right. Let's see if those guesses are any good. Not terrible. And we've got our choices. Yep. Okay, cool. One thing, let's take the box and set it to the first item so that it opens up on, off. Cool. Now, one more thing we definitely got to do is change the background color. So let's add in a juice color. And what we'll do is go to this page that I like a lot called Dark Palettes, colorhunt.co. So, well, kind of like these right here, these grays. Hmm. This is kind of cool too. Let's take this one. It gives you the RGB values in hex. So just search hex to RGB. Convert. Okay. 34, 40, 49. Cool. Nice dark background. Good enough for now. All right. Great. So we are eventually going to add a combo box attachment just to make it easier to respond to changes in the audio processor. Um, I mean, I don't know if people want to be able to automate oversampling factors, but I don't know. Let's give them the option. So to do that, we're going to have to update the way we handle our parameters. First things first, though, is that we do need to inherit from uh, TreeState. So it's audio processor value tree state listener. Yeah. Sorry. All right. Then we go in the listener and yeah, it's parameter changed. So let's do a tree state. Then we put in our parameter change method. Mm-hmm. Let's put it right above prepare, I guess. Parameter change. Good. Okay. And we also need our layout. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So that's going to be this. We got to implement it. I suppose we'll put it above. Yeah, let's do that. Create parameter layout. Cool. Now you'll recognize this from any of the other videos that I've done. And this is something that I just copy and paste between files. So I don't even remember exactly how to set it up. It needs a vector and then, yeah, and then you push them back. Okay. So we make a vector of ranged audio parameters and then we push to that vector. Now we don't have any yet, so I'm just going to do return params begin and end. And then when we do have some parameters, we will add them to the params right here, and then they will get pushed back. So that's good. Okay. Okay, let's initialize our tree state, which takes in the processor, which is this, the undo manager, which I never really use one, the name, which I always just call it parameters, and then call create layout, parameter layout right here. And oh, gotta dereference this. And we are good. Cool. It didn't crash. So that means everything's good. Okay, so what we used to do was I would define the strings up here in the header and I would just add them like normal. And then when we go to use them, I would do this. Let's pretend we have one called drive. I would say tree state dot get raw parameter, and then you look it up by its string, which was, drive or whatever. And then you just say load, and there you go. Now, the problem with this is that the string lookup is actually a really slow operation. So it's not super likely. Like if you have a few parameters is probably not that big a deal, but since you're using this on the audio thread, you don't want any chance of, slowing down the thread all of a sudden with a slow string lookup. So we're just going to actually access it directly through a pointer. And yeah, that's how we're going to do it. So I'm going to go and make a new file for parameters. So let's do a new, I can do a directory, right? Yeah, directory. I don't know, let's say globals. And then we're going to make a header file called parameters. Cool, cool. No, don't care. I'm gonna get rid of this and just do a progmal once. So to get rid of this little annoying flag we got right here, just go into the file that you're gonna include it in and go ahead and include it. Globals, parameters, and then it should go away. Yes, we are good. Cool. So let's wrap everything in namespace. Let's say Viator parameters. So that'll keep it nice and organized whenever we access things. So let's just add one parameter here now. So we're going to do an inline const since we are just using a header. And we will say juice string. And we'll say, what is this going to be? Oversampling choice ID, which is equal to oversampling choice ID. And then we do one for the name. And you might be wondering, hey, it's been years. Has Landon gotten better at just using the keyboard instead of using the mouse all the time? The answer is no. Okay, cool. So we've got our name, we've got our ID and name, and now we need to create a way to access the pointer. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a struct called parameters. Parameters. We are going to go ahead and implement the constructor. This is going to be parameters and a value tree. So, oh, const juice audio processor value tree state reference. I guess we'll call it state. Okay. So we will define some pointers. So we'll say juice audio parameter choice pointer over sampling param. And this will make sense once we start using it. Well, null pointer by default. And then here we will set it, we will initialize it. So we'll say oversampling param is equal to. So we initialize it. We'll say dynamic cast to juice audio parameter choice pointer. And then we will say tree. No, state. Sorry, I named it state. State.get parameter. And this is Viator parameters oversampling choice ID. So what we've done here is this is a string lookup like we would do when we access it, but we're doing it in the constructor so that this oversampling parameter pointer is already pointing to this and we don't need to constantly ask it to match it. So now when we go into the processor, we will make a pointer to that parameter struct that we made. So we will say std unique pointer. This is Viator, Viator parameters, and then parameters again is the name of the struct. And then I will just call this in parameters, I guess. And it's a unique pointer, so we got to go and initialize it. And you can guess how we do that because it takes in a value tree state. So we'll just go into our constructor for the processor. Here, we will say parameters is equal to std make unique. And that is, what was it again? It was, yeah, Viator parameters, which is kind of annoying, I guess, but whatever. Tree state. Good. So now we should be able to use as parameters, for example. I'll go in the process block and we can say const param, whatever, is equal to m parameters dot, oh, sorry, dot oversampling param dot get index, which is the choice. And now we're not doing a string lookup. Oh, auto, of course. And now we're not doing a string lookup because that already happens in the constructor. So there we go. Yeah. Last thing I'm going to do is I like having a update parameter method. I don't really like using parameter change. We just have to implement it because of the listener. So let's do update parameters. And we'll put that before prepare and after changed. Update parameters. And this is super simple. We're just going to put update parameters at the beginning of our process block. And we just need to make sure that we don't do anything weird in this update parameters method. We don't want to do any heap allocations or any slow stuff like string lookups and, all that good stuff. So let's just move this to that update method. And we will say over sampling. Choice makes more sense. There we go. Now we can go ahead and add an attachment for our menu. So let's go here. Let's say juice audio processor value tree state and combo box attachment. And we will call this m oversampling attach. Okay. Pretty simple. All we have to do is go here. So oversampling attach is equal to, wait, I made a mistake. This needs to be a pointer. So let's do a unique pointer, oversampling attach. Now we do oversampling attach is equal to std make unique, and I am lazy. So here we go, copy. So there, and then we add our arguments. First one's going to be the tree state. So we didn't make a method to get that. So let's do this. We want to be able to call a method called get tree state. So we'll say get tree state, and that will just return m tree state. Pretty simple. Okay. So we're going to say processor ref dot get tree state, comma, the parameter. So that's Viator parameters oversampling ID. And then the thing we're attaching to, which is the M oversampling menu. Excellent. Okay, if we did everything right, it'll build and run fine. If we didn't, it will crash. Oh. Oh, we didn't add it to the layout. That's what it is. So here we go. I will take, let's see, we need this. Where is it? Right here. We need that. Let's yeah, let's make every single line as cool as possible. So we'll go back into parameters. Let's go to globals and make a header file called, I think I'll name this one globals. So all I'm going to do is a program once. Okay, let's go ahead and attach it to processor globals. And then what I'll do is, let's see, I just want to be able to take this and use it both in the editor and the processor. So let's go here and We'll say a namespace. We'll say Viator. I guess we could say globals for this one. And then what's the best way to do this? I mean, you could just stick it in a struct, I guess, or yeah, sure. Let's just do this and see how we like it. Struct oversampling, and we will just do that. Yeah. So let's go into here and let's say const auto items is equal to Viator globals. What was it called? Oversampling items. I think we need to make it static probably. Yeah. Let's see, static const. We probably have to do inline const, right? Static inline const. Yeah, okay. There. And is that good? Okay. Cool. So now we're just creating that once and we're just reading from it. So let's actually add our parameter. So this is going to be params dot pushback std make unique. And this is going to be juice audio parameter choice. Parameter ID, that's going to be Viator parameters oversampling choice ID. And then we give it that one, which is the I don't remember what it's called, but it's an ID that if you don't put it in, I think you get a soft assertion. Okay, and then we give it the name, which is Viator parameters oversampling name. And for choice, I think all we have to give it is the items and then the first one, which is 0, like that. Okay, I think. Let's see. Okay, cool. Should be good. All right, that's it for this video. So thanks for checking it out. I'll see you in the next one.